How we feeling, Oilers Nation? Welcome to your giant pregame show presented by Sherwood Ford. And oh my goodness, boys, longtime Oilers fans for life. Liam, you're included in this conversation. What's it feel like to be in the Western Conference Finals when no one predicted this?
In my bracket to start the playoffs, I did have it. And if you remember our first pregame show for the playoffs 4 weeks ago, someone tagged me in this video on Instagram. I said, the Western Conference Finals are a realistic goal for this team.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It's only the second time in my life that they've made it this far.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. Sorry, I had to think about that. I was also thinking about my bracket as well. Of course, I have the exact same bracket on the West. I don't know what my East looks like. I think it's a disaster. But obviously, I had Oilers going to the Western Conference Final, and it was very apparent that Colorado was going to meet us there. And here we are. Prediction has become reality.
And they got a shot here. Like, it's going to be tough, obviously. Colorado's a wagon. But the way the Oilers handled the Calgary Flames, like, that's got to give you confidence. Like, they won 4 straight games against the Calgary Flames, the team that won their division, and they just flipped a switch and handled them.
And was, like, so good defensively and good at shutting teams down.
Yeah.
And we just, like, forced our way through, got them to play our game, and then just fed them their lunch.
Yeah. I think you guys need to talk a little bit about the feeling of beating Calgary in the second round of the playoffs in 5 games and how sweet that is for Oilers fans.
I got a lot of ammunition now.
Honestly,
Yeah, we could not have another Battle of Alberta for 31 years, and it would not bother me because we got this one, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then the Calgary's going to have their lame-ass excuse about that Blake Coleman goal, which, like, give me a break.
Okay,
yeah. Everyone outside of Flames Nation knows that was not a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. So what do you guys think about it? Do you think it was a kicking motion?
I wouldn't have had a problem if it counted.
Sure. Like,
we did this all on real.
Yeah. Like, the whole, like, you cannot argue he pushed the puck in with his foot. Ergo, kicked his foot. So... But then, okay, let's say they don't call it back. Edmonton's likely going to tie that game, just the way that game's going, the way that we're playing. And if we don't, we're going to win game 6. So, like, let them have all this hoopla about game 5. Like, sure.
Yeah, to me, it's kind of not a fully irrelevant moment in the series, but it's close.
It wasn't like game 7 overtime. And even still, it was a kick, even if that was the circumstance. So, like, let it go. It was game 5, and there was plenty of time left in that game for us to score. What have we been doing to you the whole series?
Coming back,
giving you leads and coming back. That was our brand, Calgary.
That's so
let it go.
That's so. I agree. The better team won that series. My personal opinion, with absolutely no bias, I do think it should have counted. I think that the NHL has some weird, inconsistent decisions that they've had all year long, but. Calgary, it was impossible for them all series to hold a lead. So honest to God, there was no doubt in my mind that Edmonton would have eventually, wrapped it up either way. But what a freaking call to make in the context of the game in that moment. Like when they came out and made the decision, the refs, I was like, what did we just see? That Battle of Alberta had a little bit of everything. Like, us hockey fans got a little bit of everything in that series.
It delivered. It was sure awesome being an Oilers fan for that BOA.
Yeah.
It was such a ride. That Thursday night was special.
There's
unbelievable.
There's one guy I want to talk about. Sorry, Jay, did you want to say?
Oh, I was going to say, and the fact that Captain Connor seals the deal,
just sitting there watching all the post game of McDavid smiling, jumping up and down with Devon Shore, him laughing with Scott Oak, the hug with Nuge. Like, we've talked about it on our pods all week. We've been we're lucky to see that. It was, and just of course it was 97, right? It had to be McDavid,
as it was written and foretold.
Yeah.
There's one guy, obviously Connor McDavid, best hockey player in the world. We've been talking about it across the league this entire playoffs, but one guy in particular that gets obviously a lot of love in Edmonton, and I hope he's getting enough love outside of Edmonton, is Draisaitl, because to be skating on one healthy ankle and to have 17 points in 5 freaking games is unheard of. And sometimes I do feel like, unfortunately, he's a little bit in the shadow of a Connor McDavid, but holy shit, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it because I don't know if there's young kids watching this. That guy is incredible, and to have finished that series with 17 points, not being 100% healthy, like, let's go Leon Draisaitl.
He was their MVP in that series. I mean, he had 11 assists in the last 3 games. Like, that's insane, right? I mean, him and Connor, the numbers they're putting up are unbelievable. They got this duo together kind of by accident, as Frank Saravalli pointed out, right? Like, if Draisaitl doesn't get hurt, they probably don't team up 97 and 29 again. No. They let them run their own lines. So it was this sort of happy accident that's led to one of the most dynamic scoring runs we've ever seen in Stanley Cup playoff history. What these two guys are doing is insane. And you sit there, you look at Colorado, and you hear the talk about, like, okay, can Kadri shut him down? If Kadri and Lehkonen are together, can they shut him down? And I just think it's at the point with these two where no one can shut them down. You can try to contain them.
Yeah.
And maybe only give them 2 points a game, not 3 points a game like they had against Calgary, but that's about it.
Like Danault and Kopitar, 2 of the best in that shutdown role. And they couldn't, sure, they might have mitigated some things, but they weren't able to completely stop it, which, that's that next level we needed. Winnipeg somehow figured it out, and maybe we weren't ready, but some learnings have happened. And now they're just willing their way past that kind of suppression, if you will. So, it's wild. It is a wild time. It is surreal. It is amazing, and I am very excited and just grateful for being in round 3.
Oh yeah, like just the
fact enjoy it. Enjoy this. Sit back and enjoy this. Like, we're not like, we are a great team. The team got hot at the right time with how we finished the season. Obviously, we had to do some learnings in round 1. We made that first round a little bit sloppier than it should be, but we got through it, which is all that matters. You can talk to the Rangers about going to Game 7 in every round and getting through. You just got to get through. Made quick work of the Flames, and now it feels like we're playing with house money. Like we got to the wet. Like, that is such an achievement. So, like, I by no means do I say I've given, like, I am all in. I still believe, like, these guys keep surprising us with just where they're at with their game in the playoffs. Yeah. So I'm not giving up on this. They've given us no reason to give up on them. And that's what gets me. So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at, too. Like, if they would have lost in the first round, it would have been a failure of a season.
Yep.
If they would have gone late in round 2, maybe against anyone other than Calgary, and they would have lost, it would have been like, okay, you can live with that. Round 3, this season is already a success. So I'm just kicking back, enjoying what we see here. Yes. Yeah, they're 4 wins away from a Stanley Cup final. It could happen.
It can happen. It could so happen. That's the odd thing. And what's so funny was against St. Louis and Colorado is the odds-on favorite to win the Cup all season long. I'm like, I want Colorado. I don't want St. Louis. I want Colorado.
Honestly, and call me crazy, I've been saying it for the whole St. Louis, Colorado series. I'm like, I'd rather, as an honorary Oilers fan this year, I would rather play the Colorado Avalanche than the St. Louis Blues, solely because the guys on the Blues have some serious experience and can get the job done. I think that in the last 3 games that the Oilers played the Colorado Avalanche in the regular season, we lost in a shootout, we lost in overtime, and then we won one. In all 3 of those games, the boys played hard. So if they can just keep that going, I mean, also Mike Smith has better numbers than Darcy Kemper. If we can continue having a solid Mike Smith, Oilers kind of building on everything that they did against Calgary, continue that momentum, and kind of beat the Avs, where we all know that they have their weaknesses, and neutralize a couple of their players.
Small D.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, they have beefed it up a little bit, but there was a comment in one of the chats here. I forget which one it was, but they said they're worried that Darcy Kemper is going to flip the switch and become his Vezina caliber self here. And I'm just not.
Who's worried? Like, Oilers fans are worried?
Yeah. And I don't think Kemper is going to be able to flip that switch for the Avs. Like, one, his numbers throughout the playoffs have been very average. He hasn't had to face a ton of rubber, and I think the Oilers will be throwing a lot of pucks at him and a lot of high danger chances. Yeah. Zach Lang pointed out today he's got the 3rd worst high danger save percentage in the playoffs. So I just think Kemper hasn't been good, and he hasn't faced an offense this good yet.
Has not seen playoff Leon, has not seen playoff Draisaitl, has not seen playoff Hyman.
Yes, 6 goals in 5 games.
Like, not seen playoff Kane.
Yeah, like leading the NHL in goals in the playoffs.
Like, we're gonna come and shell you, Darcy.
I agree with you, Tyler. I don't think, like, for Markstrom, even in the Calgary series, I don't think it's as easy as people think to just kind of have a bounce back game and flip that switch when you're kind of in that slump. So if I'm the Oilers, I'm shooting and I'm pressing hard.
Yeah, well, play our game. That's always like that. Like, we just gotta play our day. But it's funny. It's like it's gonna be power on power, eh? Like, this is gonna 100%. Be an electric series.
It is. It's like, even when you look at the two series, like in one, you got McDavid versus McKinnon. In the other series, you got Vasilevsky versus Shesterkin. Like, hockey fans are spoiled. This is going to be like an unbelievable 10 to 14 days.
Yes, I would cheer for our series over two goalies trying to batch. But it is exciting. I'm very excited for the goalie guild for this, because it's two juggernauts going in. So expect maybe low scoring, maybe not. But I expect this Oilers series just to be high octane. It's going to be stressful.
Here's an interesting question from Spiced Oil in the Twitch chat. Will the Oilers finally get the props they deserve from outside media, or will it always be about the opponent? They're big underdogs again against Colorado.
It won't be until the job's done.
And as Bag Milk says, job's not done.
Yeah, like that, and that's when they'll be like, oh, well, of course this happened because of this and that. Right now, it's they won't link onto that narrative. Yeah. There's this, there's that. And, the whole thing in Calgary was, it wasn't, it's actually what the Oilers did to win that series, Calgary didn't do, right? That is the reality. Like, they couldn't contain us. Matthew Tkachuk became a non-event because he couldn't play the speed game. He couldn't be effective. So, but
that's almost what worries me a little bit about this Colorado matchup, is because
mobile.
LA, when Edmonton got their game going and got skating and moving, LA couldn't keep up. It was over. When Edmonton got their feet moving against Calgary, and when there were moments in the game where it was back and forth and rush chances, Calgary didn't have the goaltending and they didn't have the speed to keep up. I look at Colorado, and the goaltending might not be there for them, but if this is going to be a run and gun, back forth kind of series, Colorado has the horses to keep up with the Oilers. They have the high-end talent. Nico Rannon's been quiet, but he could explode at any moment.
Stay quiet. Don't poke that bear.
McKinnon's been great. Kadri's great. Landeskog's very good as well. I even love some of the pieces they have lower in their lineup. Like, they're a really good hockey team. So this is it's without a doubt the toughest test the Oilers have had. And
this is the road to the cup.
That's the road to the cup.
The competition gets harder.
You got to beat the best to be the best.
I said that if you guys could beat Calgary in the Battle of Alberta, you're making the Stanley Cup final. And I think for me, that was the biggest test, and one of the coolest things to watch with the Oilers in that series in the playoffs was the fact that in many games they were down a couple goals. And it's not necessarily, Calgary losing the lead, but what the Oilers did to gain the lead and win that game. Like, this team we didn't see that in the regular season.
Yeah.
And Woodcroft, man, let's talk about that door swing, that power stance. I had rewound that 100 times on my TV being like, this is the most iconic thing I've ever seen in the playoffs. Like, forget the players.
It's taken social media by storm, and I'm sorry, there is not enough memes you can make with that. It is so good.
Yeah, all of it. Kennedy has one today of Woodcroft in the office. We talked on the pod the other day about Glenn Ma on Twitter, who's been doing the Where's Waldo style, where he's in West Edmonton Mall Water Park somewhere, and you got to find them.
They're tough to find.
Oh, they are. The West Ed ones stump me for more time than I'd like to admit. But
who needs to work anyways?
Woodcroft has just been everything about it. I even heard you and Kennedy, Caroline, talking before the show about how you compare it to press conferences in the past around this team, and it was always doom and gloom and negative. And Woodcroft just brings that energy, that positive vibe. Every time he talks, it's always about the positives and what they're going to do well. And if things don't go well, he's talking about how they're going to bounce back. And I think that's really rubbed off on this team. And the mental space of this group is a big reason why when they went down, they were trailing by at least 2 goals every single game in Calgary in that last series. They tied it up in every single game and won 2 of them. I think that says a lot about the mental space that Jay Woodcroft has this team in.
I love it.
They believe. That's the thing. They actually believe. They get down 1. They're not letting it affect them. Some crazy goal happens or a bad goal gets let in. They don't let it affect them.
Yeah.
They didn't let game 1 affect them. That could have been demoralizing, but they came out and spotted them 2 again.
Yeah. Again.
But there's that determination and belief in it. And you can just in led by Connor McDavid, you can just see this guy is determined, and not to say he never is determined, but he's just on another level. So can you the question is can he be stopped? That is what this series, can you stop Connor McDavid?
See, but I even think there's an element of in this series, even if McDavid isn't stopped, the Oilers still need more.
Oh, of course.
Schmitty got a battle. We're wearing the matching tees for a reason. Also,
did not plan this.
We're also wearing the same hat today, which is not planned at all.
The bromance is real.
But they're going to need Schmitty to battle.
Big time battle. Make
yes,
those key
like
saves.
the big guns for the Oilers are going to get theirs. They're going to score their points.
Yep.
That won't be enough. Schmidt's got a battle, and you're going to need every game some form of contribution from the second or third line.
Yeah. And I expect the Bison King to continue to kind of progress here. The other thing I noticed about him, so the beautiful thing I noticed about Puljujarvi is when he plays against fellow countrymen, he sometimes elevates his game. Okay. And you know what Colorado has? A lot of Finns. They got Rantanen. They got Lehkonen. They got Nathan McKinnon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah,
interesting.
Sure. It just kind of rhymed. Just went with it. So, like, if I expect him to be a force, I feel like that might help elevate his game.
I'm loving, like, playoff hockey, the weather the way it is. So we got one from Electronic Jordan here saying he's excited for Oilers Nation Radio because it's going to be great while he's cutting the lawn today. And then our friend Alex, who was the one who drove from Kamloops that one day to come to the watch party, he put in the Facebook chat, just grabbed a 4-pack of Nation beer to sip on while doing yard work before the game. It's unreal. You're driving downtown, car flags everywhere, windows down. The vibe in this city is
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. Watching hockey and like playoff hockey in the summer is such a good time.
It's the best.
Everything leading up to it. Then you go inside to watch the game, whether it be at the rink, in the moss pit, at your house, chill. Awesome. And you go back outside again because the game started at 6. It's still going to be light out.
I know. That's going to be I love these 6 o'clock starts too. I wanted to ask you this question, or both of you this question. We're going to discuss this on Oilers Nation Radio. Mm-hmm. New episode will drop later this afternoon. Who is your pick to be the unsung hero of this round? Who's someone who we're not talking about now as a player who's made a big impact, who will come through and find a way to contribute for this team?
Kyler Yamamoto.
Really?
I think Yams is going to have a big series.
Okay.
What he did, was it against the Kings? Was it first round of the playoffs that he was buzzing?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was. I feel like he finds his stride.
He'll be a factor. And they're not like he was getting just demolished against Calgary.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Yeah.
So, he might have a better chance against Colorado. I'm just going to try. I'm trying to will this into existence. Playoff Fogel has to show up at some goddamn time.
Yeah.
Well, playoff Fogel, come on, buddy. This is, what? We didn't need you the last 2 rounds, but we're going to need you this round, buddy.
Yeah.
Buzz around, hit, contribute. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. I think Fogel's got to be a guy for this team. I'm looking not so much even one player, but I'm looking at duos for the Oilers. Mm-hmm. Like if they do go, because they were skating with McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman as a line.
Don't mind it.
So if you go Nugent-Kane as a second-line duo, Kane, you lead the NHL in goals. That is awesome. You need to keep it up away from the big guns. If Nugent-Kane can be a consistent source of offense, that is huge for this team. And 100%. Then if McLeod and Fogel, they don't need to score every game. But if they can score a couple of big goals in this series, and if they can push the pace with the Avs, not get scored on.
They both can skate.
Get the puck moving in the other direction. They can both skate like the wind. I want to see them both play a lot more physically. Fogel, I know, can do it. McLeod hasn't really shown it in his career. He's learning. But Fogel's a guy who has playoff experience. That is one of the reasons the Oilers made that deal. You got to start producing if you're Warren Fogel.
But
start making an impact. I think he can.
That's the question, right?
Like he's done it before with the Canes, right? So like it's there. It teases you a little bit.
That's the question. I think we all believe, we all want it, but can Fogel do it?
You talk to Washington Capitals fans, and they hate Warren Fogel because he is a cap killer.
Yeah, he is.
So now be an Av killer.
Yeah.
Do you want to get into the lines, Tyler?
Yeah, let's get into the lines here. We talked about the top line a little bit there, how the Oilers are going to line up. They're changing up a little bit from what you see here. Sounds like Hyman is going to make the jump up to the top line in this one, and then it's going to be Kane with Yamamoto and Nugent Hopkins on the second line. Puljujarvi, Fogel, McLeod is the third line, which I kind of like.
I don't mind that. They can bang and crash.
Yep. Why not?
All can skate.
Yeah.
Puljujarvi needs to stay on your feet, bro, but you can do it.
Fourth line staying the same. D pairing staying the same. Mike Smith. Obviously, Schmidt's getting the start between the pipes. For the Avalanche, it's interesting as well. they were lining up in a few different ways over the last week. We'll flash these up for you here. This is what it was at skate a few days ago for the Avs, but there's some talk that they might flip Lehkonen from that top right wing spot and Nichushkin and try to build up more of a shutdown second line with Kadri, Rantanen, and Arturi Lehkonen. The third line for the Avs, like I said, is good. The fourth line came through big for them in Game 6 against the St. Louis Blues with Darren Helm, the grizzled vet, scoring the winner. The D pairings, a guy like Bowen Byram, I'm really interested to see how he handles a playoff series where when this series shifts back to Edmonton, he could get some tough matchups. Josh Manson's on the second pair. He's tough as nails. The big concern for me here is if the Avs get the matchups the way they want, it'll be the Kadri, Lehkonen, and Rantanen line, seeing a lot of McDavid because they'll want to free up McKinnon. Yeah. And then it'll be the Taves-Makar duo. And that is probably the best D pairing in the NHL. They're good. And I think they're built in a way that they can shut down or at least keep up with McDavid and Draisaitl. Makar skates so well. Devin Taves is positionally so sound. He would have been on the Olympic team this year if NHLers went to the Olympics. Like, that's how good this pairing is. That worries me. That pairing right there worries me.
Just like they should be worried about.
Yeah, and I'm sure if this was, if we were at Colorado pregame show, we'd be sitting there being like, can Taves and Makar find a way to keep up with 97 and 29, right?
That'd be one of the keys to their game.
It'd be one of the keys to the game. But from an Oilers perspective,
Kemper, make a save.
Yeah, Kemper's got to make a save for him. But
hopefully not.
There's reasons to think the Oilers can win this. They just aren't the favorites.
That's okay. It doesn't matter.
And that's fine.
They weren't the favorites last round.
Which, by the way.
That was a good one.
Caught me off guard.
Betting talk, they are dogs tonight, Jay. They are dogs in the series. Plus 210 on the series, plus 165 tonight on the money line. Are you confident in a game one steal?
So, it's a 7-game series. Mm-hmm. A key to winning a series is splitting on the road.
Yep.
I feel our split's going to come tonight. I feel like we get the W tonight.
Okay.
And I don't trust me. I know Colorado's prepared. They've watched a lot of game footage. Like, they're prepared, but I just feel like they're not prepared. They
think we can stun them.
They have not seen this level of the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we can probably stun them, get up a few.
Yeah.
And then hopefully find a way to shut it down and win.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna, once again, it's about getting the business, getting the W. So just going money line. It's already plus, so it's beautiful. So keep it simple, and then I'm going to play around in the props.
Yeah, I'm going to play around in the props. I like taking Mike Smith over 32.5 saves. It was one of my bets of the game over at Daily Faceoff. I think the Avs are going to want to pepper him tonight. They're going to shoot from everywhere. Mm-hmm. That could lead to a lot of saves from the outside, get that number up. And Liam, we got to be riding with Draisaitl over 1.5 today, right?
You got to keep going. It was plus 145 when we recorded BLT bets, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'll go with that one. And then if Hyman or Kane play on the top line, whichever one of them, I'll do a goal prop on those guys.
A little goal prop there. Not bad. There is a prop we found on our betting podcast, BLT Bets. Leon Draisaitl to get a point in every game in this series. What do you think that would be priced at? What are you thinking?
Plus 100.
Plus 375.
Holy shit.
McDavid's plus 165.
You guys are so
wow. Do they not look at the game notes?
Are they not paying attention?
Jesus.
That feels like free money. And it never is, but I'm betting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. Alex has his key to the game. McDavid catching Makar on a failed offensive rush. And I actually think that's interesting. If Makar's really trying hard to push the pace offensively and get up in the rush, the Oilers are a very dangerous rush team. They love their odd mans. That's how they did a lot of their damage against Calgary. If Colorado maybe gets a little bit too focused on trying to keep up with the rush chances going back and forth, that could lead to some success for the Oilers.
McDavid picks his pocket, turns it around.
Yeah.
2-on-1, him and Leon.
Bang. Kemper won't know what to do. He'll be looking the other way.
Yeah, he should just walk out of the net.
Yeah, just give it to him, Darcy.
Jake says that the Oilers need to have a good start or else they'll be in trouble. And then Andrew says, usually when our fans are this cocky, we lead with a terrible game. I don't think we're cocky.
Oh, I'm nervous.
I'm very nervous.
But I'm very calm just because I'm just really trying to enjoy and be present in the moment.
I think there's a lot to be happy about and a lot to be hopeful about based on what just happened against Calgary. And no one is underestimating what Colorado is going to bring. And then the players that they have, Kadri, for me, as a Leafs girl, is what still breaks my heart to think about that he's not a Toronto guy because of everything he brings to the team. So there are many players on this Colorado team that are can be the difference. But man, Oilers have proved themselves. So we're riding the wave.
Yep. Just ride the wave, man. That's all we can do. Bet with your heart. Be advised, but bet with your heart.
Bet with your heart.
Cautiously optimistic.
Manifest.
You got exactly. Manifest the outcome with how you bet.
Tyler, I'm so proud of you, hey? For you to say manifest the outcome since the start of this year.
You're wearing off on him. You're getting there.
I never thought I'd hear manifest leave his mouth.
A lot of talk in the Facebook chat. This is switching gears completely. But a lot of talk about if Kane can do to Kadri what he did to Tkachuk last round. Silence him. Neutralize him.
That would be that because Kane's going to try to beat Tkachuk. Yeah. Kane is probably better, or Kadri's probably a better skater than Tkachuk, maybe in the speed game. But Kane can neutralize anyone because he's now he's a legitimate heavyweight in this NHL. So he's a scary guy, and you don't want to poke that bear. So I could easily see that being a reality. Yeah. Kadri's not afraid though.
Oh no,
but he can be humbled.
Yes.
Yeah. Surveyor Brett, as he does every game, tweeted out the refs for tonight. It's going to be Kelly Sutherland and Gord Dwyer. Sutherland worked Game 2 of Edmonton, LA. Dwyer worked Game 5 of the first round and Game 3 of the second round for the Oilers. Sutherland, over 200-plus careers playoff experience.
Cool.
So getting a couple experienced officials, as you would expect in the conference finals tonight. I think the power play is huge for Edmonton. Special teams is just going to be massive, right? Like that top unit of Colorado, when they get going, they are very, very hard to beat. And Edmonton is the same way. So whichever one of those teams can get going, that's probably worth one win in this series.
Keys to the game?
Yegburger. Shout out to Yegburger.
Well,
we've been eating a lot of Yegburger
recently. Yeah, personal keys to the game. Have Yegburger as your pregame meal. Can't stress that enough.
New burger and milkshake of the month will drop tomorrow on their Instagram, YEG_burger. So keep it locked there.
Exciting. Delicious as well.
Yep.
Keys to the game. Well, man, Oilers, you're just awesome right now. So nice. just go and do just go and just don't play your game. I sound like a broken record, but just go out there and do you. That's it. Everyone show up. Playoff Fogel, show up. Connor McDavid, just keep being Connor McDavid. We've got a chance. But we got to go and work for it.
Depth and goaltending. The big guns are going to get theirs. The Oilers need depth and goaltending tonight, and you'll be able to win this game, and you'll be able to stun the Avs in Game 1. The Oilers have not been a great Game 1 team so far in this playoffs. Change that trend tonight. Depth, goaltending. Depth, goaltending.
Sounds like we need depth and goaltending.
If they get depth and goaltending, and then even more depth and goaltending, they will win Game 1.
And we want 2015 Duncan Keith.
Yes.
And mine, basically what I said last time, they can't overthink this. Do what they've been doing. It's a new day. They know what their game plan is. They know what works from them. Don't deviate from that, and don't overthink playing Colorado, because we saw in regular season, and the Oilers weren't as good as they are now in regular season, that they were able to play with that Colorado team. So they need to go in and just stick to what they know and freaking win.
And frickin' win goaltending.
Frickin' win. Let's go.
All right, everyone.
Game 1.
Let's do it.
Western Conference Finals.
Watch party, pint downtown. Caroline's hosting.
Yeah, so see you guys there downtown.
Yeah.
Downtown.
And if you want to make your plans for Game 2, I'm hosting Pint White on Thursday.
Yay.
Our watch parties are a good time.
They are electric. It's amazing to see, and we're having so much fun. So thank you for everyone who comes and supports us.
All right, guys, enjoy the game. We're close to game time.
I know.
I love 6 o'clock
stressing
starts.
out.
I love it.
Full disclosure, I got to rush home. We're doing our we got a photographer doing our baby photo shoot.
Nice.
Put her in an Oilers jersey.
I don't have one yet.
What?
That's their size. That's her size. She has some growing to do.
Fair.
Sorry, I do have one, just not her size yet. It will be her size soon enough.
But Hot Dog has an Oilers jersey.
Hot Dog does have an Oilers jersey. Big Oilers guy.
Right.
Hot Dog.
You know what? Okay, sorry. I need to tell this to you before we end the show. Kennedy came in today with a gift for me.
Okay.
She got from south of the border, from the States, 6 Bud Light hard sodas for me to enjoy during the conference finals. It's a sody night, Jay. A liter of cola for me and Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals.
I am happy and concerned for you.
All right, guys, this has been your Giant pregame show presented by Sherwood Ford. Enjoy Game 1.
Woo!